Throughout the history of video games, there's been this term called maining, just maining a hero, maining a champion, or just maining some sort of player. You can main Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, or you can main Rammus from League of Legends, or you can main Pichu from Super Smash Bros. Melee. Why would you do that to yourself, maining Pichu? He's the worst one! And Overwatch is no exception to this rule, because you just hear it throughout the whole entire community. Oh, I'm a Lucio main, I'm a Reinhardt main, oh, I main Genji, I'm a Cancer main, aka main, which a lot of people like to think I am. But in this video, I did want to talk about having a quote-unquote main in Overwatch, because yes, throughout decades, you've always heard the term main, just maining a certain type of hero, champion, player, and Overwatch is going to be no exception to this rule. But before I even continue on with the video, I want everybody to comment what their quote-unquote main is, and it doesn't even have to be just one hero, because yes, whenever you think of the word or term main, obviously that kind of means you only play one selective hero, you play one hero throughout any type of game, and you just learn the in and outs of that certain type of hero. You learn everything that comes with that hero, and that isn't always the bad thing. But honestly, you can main multiple heroes. Some people argue it's like, no, well, you just got to go with the term main. You only main one hero. But honestly, you can get really, really good with like 3, 4, 5, or in Seagull's case, every freaking hero, and become a main with every type of hero. But just comment what heroes you're really good with, or quote unquote what your main is. Now, in some people's cases, having a main would consist of one hero, when other people's cases would consist of many other heroes, say like 4, 5, or 6 heroes. And in this video, I did want to talk about both cases, because both cases, whether you play one hero or just multiple heroes, would have both pros and cons to it. Even though a lot of people would say, oh, if you only play one hero, you're gonna lose a lot more, you're gonna lead the team to a lot more defeats because you don't know how to play any other heroes. I want to explain why that isn't the case, but why that also can still lead to a lot of defeats, because a lot of people will still dog on those people that only main one single hero. Because let's just use the example like a Genji main, right? So in my honest opinion, I feel like Genji is probably the hardest hero, or just one of the hardest heroes to play in Overwatch. He's not easy to learn, and he's very, very hard to master. But if you just consistently play Genji every single game, if you have more than like 50 hours played, let's just throw that number out there. If you have 50 hours played on Genji, you're probably going to consider yourself as a Genji main, and you're probably getting really, really good with Genji. You know the in and outs, you know when to deflect, you know when to dash, you know when to throw your stars, or just throw your dash stars, or whatever it could be. You probably know the in and outs of Genji. Now, does every team composition call for a Genji? Does every attack, defense, or just 2 CP maps call for a Genji? No, it does not, but that doesn't mean it cannot work. So if you are a Genji main and you learn the in and outs of Genji, pretty much all you have to do, just stay consistent on every single map, is just get kills. But that just comes with practice. And again, if you just throw time and effort into becoming quote unquote a Genji main, I feel like it can work. Now, a lot of people will dog on that Genji main for only playing Genji, but if you just get really, really good with that one and single hero, then I wouldn't see why that wouldn't work. But again, not every single team competition calls for a Genji, and that is where his downfall comes in. Let's say if there's like a Lucio, he's the only healer on the team, and there's an enemy Sombra that's literally hacking every single health pack. The Genji's not going to be that effective if he's trying to get in the back lines, and if he relies on the health packs, because, oh my god, well, that Sombra just hacked that health pack, let me go to the, oh my god, bruh, Sombra, why are you hacking every single health pack? And then he's got to go back to the team, because that's where the only other healer is, which is the Lucio. So again, that's where Genji mains are going to fall false to this, because they rely on the health packs, but since Sombra just hacked all the health packs, now he has to rely on the Lucio, and his main focus is to go in the back lines, distract the enemy team, take out the healers, but he can't do that because he doesn't have the health packs to rely on. So that's just another cause and effect where a Genji main will just fall to it. But a pro to that is that if, say, they didn't have a Sombra, he can rely on the health packs. The enemy team probably isn't going to know how to deal with a pro Genji. Is that a pro Genji? I think that's a pro Genji. Oh my god, hopefully you get that reference. My point here is that you probably took a lot of time and effort just practicing Genji and just practicing that one single hero that you're probably going to be very, very effective in. But if they do have the counters, if they have even a better Winston, you're probably going to be countered and probably not that effective. And what are you going to choose at that point? You're going to choose a Mercy, you're going to choose a Lucio. Well, you don't put in a lot of time and effort in those heroes, and you're probably not going to be that effective, say, if you didn't choose a Genji. Now, the reason why I use Genji as an example is because I love Genji mains. I honestly do, because they can just get team wipes, they can just harass the enemy team, they can get lots and lots of kills. He's one of the hardest heroes to play, and not a lot of teams know how to deal with a really pro, good Genji, whatever you want to call it, and that's why I really like Genji mains. But honestly, I feel like if you do main a hero such as Genji or just anybody else, you have to have a good supporting line. I think I made a video back a little bit ago where I talked about off-meta picks, and I said that off-meta picks are most effective when they have a good supporting line, i.e. a Mercy, i.e. an Ana, or even i.e. freaking Reinhardt to protect them in the back. Such if you're a soldier main, you need to have a good Reinhardt so that he keeps his shield up and that he doesn't just charge into the enemy lines and just dies right there, because at that point you're not that effective because you don't have a good supporting shield. So again, if you're gonna be like a Genji main, or even I don't consider myself a Mei main, but I show a lot of Mei gameplay because that's just who I'm most effective with. If I want to be an effective Mei, maybe I have to have a good Lucio on my side to speed boost me in there so I can just start freezing a bunch of people. So it's just cases like that where yes, your main can be probably the greatest main, it could probably be the backbone, the brains, the hearts of the team, whatever stupid metaphor you want to have, it could be very effective, but you still have to have a supporting line. I ran into like this Genji main who was just awesome. He was probably one of the greatest Genjis I ran into in the diamond tier. I think he was masters at the time, low masters, but guess who he had along his side? He had a really good Ana. So again, Genji, he was really effective, but because he got constant heals from that awesome Ana, he was able just to do twice the work than if he didn't have that confident Ana. So that's just the case right there, that yes, Genji is an awesome hero, he's just an awesome player on my team, but because he had even a better Ana to help support him. And then it leads to the argument, well, why don't you learn more heroes? Why don't you learn 4, 5, or 6 heroes like in my case? And the reason why that, obviously that's still good. A perfect example is Seagull. He just plays any type of hero he can play. Obviously Genji, he can play Zarya, he can play, he can pretty much play, he plays Mei, I think I even saw a gameplay where he used Junkrat. So that's a perfect example, and kind of an extreme example of someone who just plays a bunch of heroes and is really good. I'm sure you guys aren't like Seagull where you can play every single hero perfectly, but the pro to that is that you're more diverse, right? You can counter any type of player on the enemy team, or you can just work with anybody on your team. Say someone is a Genji main and you want to be an Ana. Well, if you're a really good Ana, you can help support that Genji. But a con to that is that you're not really mastering, and again, some people are masters with multiple heroes, I'm not saying that, but you have a more likely chance to master a hero if you only played, say, like a Genji, than if you played a Genji, Tracer, Reinhardt, Lucio, Mercy. You're not putting all that time and effort in all those heroes compared to just that one hero, because I'm sure you guys aren't on a pro team, I'm sure you guys aren't like a YouTuber that just gets to do this for a job like Sty or something, so you don't have the time and energy to pour all this time and effort into these multiple heroes. So what a lot of people do is just pick that single hero and just get really freaking good with them, and that's still a good thing, but that also comes to a downfall. Like, okay, what if your team just steals your main, or what if your team just doesn't call for a Genji? Well, then in your case you're screwed. But in the person that does play multiple heroes, he can be flexible, he can play multiple tanks, offense, support, whatever the case may be. So my main point here that I'm trying to make is that having a main isn't the worst thing of all time. It's honestly not. A lot of people like to dog on the Genji, the Torbjorn, the Mei, the Mercy main that only plays those heroes, but in some cases they can just bring up the team because, hey, they know what they're doing. They know when to hit their res, they know when to use their ultimate, they know when to Graviton, they know when to Genji Blade, whatever the case may be. They know the ins and outs of heroes, but it just comes to a downfall. Like, what if it doesn't call for that hero? Then you're kind of screwed at that point. The final point that I'll make will just end out on a story, and I'll probably make a part 2 to this video just talking about mains because I probably forget something, and I want to read you guys' comments and just your arguments when it comes to mains, because everybody has their opinions and thoughts when it does come to players just maining a certain type of hero, champion, player, whatever the case may be. But I want to tell you guys a story about the time that I played with the Torbjorn main. So many people, and I mean tons of people, like to just crap on Torbjorn and say he's the worst hero of all time, and I do feel like he's a little underrated and he's just not played that well and he's just not an overall great hero. But I played with this one Torbjorn main, and I knew he was a Torbjorn main because he put in 150 hours into Torbjorn. He had dedication, he had the will, he had the patience to play Torbjorn and just learn just every in and out little aspect of Torbjorn. And I played against him and I played with him. When I played against him, he was honestly the backbone of the team. He gave the whole entire team armor, his turrets were just putting in work, and I was playing with this team and one of the players was just like, dude, I don't know what to do. The Torbjorn is just putting in too much work. I honestly don't know how to take him out. And he honestly stopped us from taking the first point of Hanamura because he knew how to place his turrets, he knew when to Molten Core, he just knew every aspect of Torbjorn. And so then I thought to my head, all right, if he was that effective, I want him on my team. I want to play with him, and I rarely ever play with people. But when I see an effective Torbjorn, I want that guy on my team. I want him. I wanted him on my team.
Well, these
turrets.
Fucking rock. These
turrets.
This is good. Good? These
Torb turrets.
fucking good! Give me 2 more! Give me 2 more!
So I invited him, and when we played, bruh, we went on a total win streak, and he played Torbjorn. Sure, he did switch to Pharah, because yes, sometimes a Torbjorn is not always needed, but when he did play Torbjorn, bruh, he was effective. He gave me armor. I played Zenyatta, and just a Torbjorn armor paired up with my Zenyatta shield, I would not die. He would not die. My whole entire team would not die, and that's just because he knew how to play Torbjorn. He knew every little aspect. He knew when to Molten Core. He just knew everything like that. He knew to give his team armor, and it worked out for the most part. So don't always crap on the Torbjorn mate, because if he knows how to play Torbjorn, bruh, he's gonna be a wrecking to mess with, and that was just a perfect example. So again, mains can't always just be the worst thing. They're not. Honestly, they're not. But sometimes you just need to learn more than like, okay, my rule of thumb, learn 3 heroes. And in my case, I know how to play Mei, I know how to play Tracer, and I know how to play Zenyatta. Those are the 3 heroes that I just know how to play excellent in any type of case. And Soldier 76, I forgot to mention him. So in my case, I know how to play 4 heroes in any type of situation. But in my rule of thumb, just learn 3 heroes, or in a perfect case, learn 4 from every class, i.e. offense, defense, tank, and support. So a pretty longer video, but I want everyone to leave their thoughts and opinions on mains, because everyone has an opinion, and leave your main down in the comment section below. So I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and bye.